Hello everyone. This is part 73 of our playlist Full Stack Python. Okay, so this is a training course. In this training course, we are learning theory in depth, as well as we are learning programming in depth. Okay, programming means we are solving like competitive programming by learning the theory. First, we learn the concept, then only we will implement the program. Okay, if we directly implement the program, then we will stuck somewhere. So that's why we are learning theory. Theory means the topics, basic and advanced topic we are covering, as well as we are writing programs from basic onwards to hard level. Right. So this is a training course. It is not like a just one video where you can learn complete full stack Python. Right. So this is a training course, not the video. It is not like a video. Okay. So consider it like training course, not a video. Right. So today in this training course, we are going to learn about inheritance. Okay, so what is the inheritance and what is the actual mean of inheritance, we will learn. Okay, so inheritance is a process of acquiring the property and behavior of one class inside another class. Okay, there is a parent class and there is a child class. So means child acquires some properties from the parent class. Okay, child acquires some property of the parent class. This particular process known as inheritance, like you are inheriting some properties of your, like for example, if I give a real life example, so as a child of your parent, you acquire some properties like money you acquire of your parent if you don't earn. Okay, like uh, also you acquire some other benefits of your parents, right? So this is a inheritance. This particular term known as inheritance. Inheritance allow to build new data types based on existing data type. Okay, for example, like you have an existing data type, but you want to add more functionality in the existing data type, then what you will do, you will use the concept of inheritance. Okay, like previous existing properties is not suitable for your current application. So what you will do, you will create a new data type, or we can say you will inherit the previous class property in order to like remove the ambiguities, right? We can say. So here we have a parent class and here we have a child class. So child class acquire the property of parent class, right? Okay. So see, inheritance is inheritance is process of grouping all the classes which share common properties and behavior. Okay. For example, if I say a property of a class of animal, for example, there is a class of animal. Okay. So animal is a class. Okay. And the inherited classes like dog. Okay. So dog will inherit some properties of animal. Like, okay, and for example, we have another class which is lion. Okay, lion is also belongs to the animal class, right? We have another class which is like tiger. Okay, tiger. All right, so it will also acquire the property of animal class. So that's what I'm saying here. Okay, please try to understand. Okay, now we will see what is the advantages of inheritance. Advantage of inheritance is reusability. It allows using variables and methods of one class inside another class. Okay, so if you have some properties and methods in one class, so that same method and same property you can use inside another class. That's called inherit class. Okay, inheritance is a relationship. This is what type of relationship is a relationship. Okay, like child and parent. If there is a class of parent and there is a class of child, so between parent and child we have a is a relationship, right? In hierarchy of inheritance, existing class is called generalized class. Okay, the class is already exist, known as generalized class. What class? Generalized class. This class having common properties and behavior. This class which is derived from existing class is called a specialized class. Okay, so we have two terms. First one is generalized, which is existing class. We have another term specialized, which means inherit class. Okay, so this generalized class, we can say parent class, or we can say super class, or we can say base class. This specialized class, we can say child class, subclass, or derived class. There are different names, okay, like a synonyms to take the name of the superclass and child class and parent class, right? So based on the reusability of classes, inheritance is classified different types. Okay. So based on the reusability, like inheritance completely known as reusability. Like we are reusing the property of same class in order to enhance the class properties or class behavior as a new data type. Right. So we have different types of reusability or inheritance, we can say. Number one is single level inheritance. Second is multi-level inheritance. Next is multiple inheritance. Okay, don't be confused. This is multi-level and this is multiple, right? And this is hierarchical inheritance. After that, we have hybrid inheritance, right? We have hybrid inheritance. Okay, if we talk about single level inheritance, so we have a class which is parent class, A is a parent class, and we have a child class. So we have only parent class and only child class. This is known as single level inheritance. And multi-level inheritance, so here you will see labels. So this is a parent and this is a child, but this B class is parent for C child. Okay, this is a child of B and B is a child of A. Okay, so this is multi-level. We have three level in this inheritance. And another one is multiple inheritance. In multiple inheritance, we have two parents class A and B, two parents class, and C will acquire the property of A as well as B. So this is what multiple inheritance. And the reverse of it, we have hierarchical inheritance, where we have one parent and two child, which are acquiring the property of single class, right? And this is a hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance means the collection of two or more than two inheritance. Okay, so here you can see from here to here, you can see like this is what this is this is what hierarchical inheritance. And if you see here to here, so this is what multiple inheritance, because two parents are there and one child is there. Hierarchical because one parent is there and two child is there, like that. So when we will write the program, you can easily detect, easily understand, right? And this is the syntax of writing code of inheritance. First you will write class keyword, then you will write the derived class name. Okay, then you will write base class name, and here you will write another base class name. Then you will write variables and methods, right? Methods of base class or superclass are automatically inherit inside the derived class. So whatever methods and whatever the properties are there in the parent class automatically inherit. Okay, when you create inheritance, like, okay, so this is what single level inheritance. This is a single level inheritance. In the single level inheritance, we have a class A. Okay, this class A is known as base class, parent class, or we can say superclass, right? So let me write a program so you can easily understand. Okay, so let me open IDLE. IDLE is nothing but integrated development learning environment. Okay, here we will practice our code. I will take a new module. Creating a new file of Python is known as simply, we can see creating a new module. So first I will save this module on desktop. Let's take Python programs, and here I will give the name to this file, main 58, right? And here we will write the program, right? So for example, first we will create a class. Okay, first we will create a class. So first I will write the class keyword. Then what I will do, I will write the class name. Class name is A. So this class is known as, we can say this is a base class, base class, or we can say this is a parent class. We can say parent. Okay, this is what parent class, or what we can say, this is what, this is super class, right? This is a super class. And here I will write method. Okay, so whenever you will write the method, you will use def keyword. Then you will write method name. Method name is m1 here. All right. Here, if it is the instance method, you will write self here, right? You will write self here, then colon followed by colon. Okay, after colon, when you go to the next line, some space will come. Okay, this first space is known as indent. Okay, so we have to maintain indentation in Python. I will write here print, and one message I will write like m1 of a, m1 of a, right? And I'll create another method which is m2 self, right? And here I will write another message like m2 of a, a class. These two methods belongs to a class, and these two methods are instance method. Why? Because we have self parameter. We have self as a parameter. That's why these two methods are known as instance method, right? And we have another class which is class V. Okay, now how can I inherit this class? Okay, how can I inherit this A class? So I will write the parenthesis here. Parentheses are nothing but just a round bracket, we can say. And here I will write the class name. So what is the class name? Class name is A. Okay, so means the moment you inherit, or we can say the moment you inherit these M1 and M2 come inside B class, right? And this B class is known as, we can say this is a derived class. Okay, this is a derived class, or we can say this is a child class, right? Or we can say this is what? We can also say this is a subclass. All right. Or we can say this is a generalized class and this is the specialized class. Okay. All right. Now what we will do here, I will create another method. I'll create another method which is M3, right? And if it is instance methods, so definitely you will write here self, self parameter you will give first. Okay. And here you will write the message like print M3 of M3 of B class. Okay. M3 of B class. And I'll create another method which is like M4. And here I will give the parameters like self means this is what method? Instance method. And I will write the message as well. M4 of which class? B class, right? So means we can say all the properties and all the methods of A class inherit by B class, which is striped class, child class, or subclass, right? Now I will create the object of which class? I will create the object of child class. What is child class? What is child class? So child class is nothing but B. B is the child class. So how can I create the object? I will write B like this. I can create the object and I will write the variable name like obj of B. Okay, it is complicated. I will write simply obj1, right? So what object I am creating? I'm creating which object? I'm creating B class object. I'm creating B class object. All right, but with the help of B class object, I can call M1 and M2, M3 as well as M4. Why? Because I can call M1 and M2. Why? Because this is inherit. Okay, B class inheriting A class. So means all the properties and all the methods of A class will come inside what? B class. So that's why I can call those methods with the help of B object, right? And in order to call M1, I will write here obj M1, obj1 dot M1, obj1 dot M2, right? Obj1 dot M3, then obj1 dot M4. Okay, so all the methods I'm calling, these two methods belongs to the superclass and these two methods are belongs to the subclass, right? So if code is fine, if all the things are fine, this will produce no error. Okay, so it is executing fine, right? So there is no issue. So this is how you can practice, this is how you can understand. If you have any problem, any doubt, any query, you can comment. Okay, because when you comment, then only I can understand like you are understanding or not, or you are getting doubt or not. Okay, and whatever code you are practicing, you can use this video comment section in order to paste your code. The moment you paste your code in the comment section, I will check your code definitely, and I will definitely appreciate you if you will do hard work, right? Coding is nothing but it is all about practice. It is nothing more than practice. Okay, coding means practice. Coding means not writing the code. Coding means solving the problem first, then writing the code. Okay, without solving the problem, you cannot write the code. Okay, this is not definitely a good option to write the code. First, write the problem, solve the problem, write the code, and understand the code, right? This is the proper way for learning. And whatever you code line, please use this video comment section as your notebook, right? All right, I hope you are getting this question. This program we already solved. Okay, see here, see here now. Okay, so properties or variables of base class are not inherited automatically inside derived class. Okay, in order to inherit the properties, variables, or you can say variables of base class within derived class or subclass, derived class constructor must call constructor of base class, right? Means, for example, okay, see here, okay, see here. So this is what? This is our base class, and this is what? This is our child class. So whatever the properties, okay, property 1 and property 2 we have. No, we can say this is the methods. Method 1 and method 2 we have. So it will not directly inherit it. It is not directly inherited. What happened here? First, the constructor of B class will run, and B class constructor call to the A class constructor. Then only we can call the inherit the property of A class. Directly it's not possible, but by the constructor, because constructor called directly. So it is a kind of direct approach, but you should understand what happening internally. Internally, constructor call constructor. Child class constructor call the super class constructor. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. All right. So here you can understand now. Okay. So here we will write like super dot and method name. super dot variable name in order to access the property of base class, right? Super function returns the reference of superclass. Using this reference, subclass can invoke member of superclass. Okay, with the help of super, we can access the method or properties of the superclass, or we can say parent class, right? Okay. Okay, let me write the code so that you can easily understand whatever I'm trying to say. Please understand by the code. All right. So first I will write the class keyword, and then I will write the method. Okay, what method I'm going to write now? I will write the instance method, but this is init method. Init method, we can say this is a magic method or automatically called method, or we can say constructor, right? So whenever you will create the object of any class, constructor will call, no doubt about it, right? So I will write the constructor like init. Okay, and constructor is also what? Instance method. So what you will do? You will write simply self. Okay, now this is what? Instance method. And in this instance method, I will create the property. I'll create the property. Okay, instance property, object level property. The moment you will create the object level property, you will write here self dot x equals to 100. You will write. Then you will create another property, self dot y equals to 200, right? And I'll create another class. I'll create another class which is b. Okay, this is b class. I want this b class inherit the property of a class. So what I will do, I will write here parenthesis, and I will write the superclass name which is a. Here I will create another method, automatically called method, or you can say constructor method. I will write of b class. So what I will do, I will write tab. Okay, underscore init underscore, and in the parenthesis I will write self, right? And what I'm going to do here, in order to call this constructor, what I will write here super dot underscore init, right? Underscore self, right? Self dot p equals to 300. Okay, p is another property which is available inside which class? B class. Whereas x and y available in which class? A class, right? So self dot q equals to 400 we have in B class. So we can say in total, we in B class in total we have four properties, x and y and p and q. Why? Because we are inheriting which class? A class we are inheriting, right? Now what I will do, I'll create object of B class. I'll create the object of which class? B class object I'll create, right? Now I'll call which method? I will call the properties, and or we can say I'll print the properties. Print objb.p. Which property I'm going to print? This one, 300. I'm going to print. After that, I will write objb.q. Objb.q I'll write because I'm going to inherit this property, or not inherit, but accessing this property with object of B class, or with the child class object. I'll write another print. Which is obj dot objb dot x. We can access parent class property as well. Why? Because parent class property inherited by B. So B class object can access parent class properties, right? All right. Then I will write here objb dot y. Objb dot y. Correct. So if everything is fine in this line of codes, so it will not produce any error. Okay, not everything is fine here, so it is giving error. So we will resolve the error. Let's see what's the error here. Okay, so what's the error here? Let me check. What's the error. Okay, so what's the error? Okay, so what's the error here? The error is very small. Here I am passing what? Self. Okay, so I don't need to pass self. It will, without parameter, it will call the method of this A class constructor. It will call because I am writing here super method. Right? If I run this code, so it will execute fine. See, 300 and 400 is printing, which is PQ value, and 100 and 200 is printing, which is X and Y value, right? Hope you are understanding this code. Okay, if you are not getting, I have another example which through you can easily understand, right? So for example, there is a class name is person is a class name, right? I will write a method inside the person class. Okay, so what's the method? name of the person class. This is the init method, init. Okay, and here I will write self, right? I will write here self dot name equals to none. Okay, person class have a property which is name and initialized by none. Okay, there is nothing inside the name. And then I'm creating another method which is like set name. Okay, set name, and here I will write self and n is the first parameter, and I will write here self dot underscore name. Okay, underscore name, and I'll pass here n value, right? And this is also I will make private. How can I make it private? By giving underscore, right? Okay, so we have another method which is get name, right? And this is the instance method, and I will return here self dot name. But our name is what type? Name is private, right? Name is what? Private. We have two methods. One is set method and one is get method. This is private method means we cannot access this property outside the class. With the help of object, we cannot access the private data. That's why we are creating methods like set name and get name. Set means set the value of the name. Get means receive the name, return the name. Okay, so it is the private. So I will write here two type underscore. Right. So then only it will return. Correct. Now I'll create another class. I will write here class, and here I will write the class name which is student, and this student class inherits the properties of which class? Person class. Okay. Although our properties are what's private, so it will not inherit property directly, but it can inherit the method which is public method. We can inherit the methods. Okay, and we can with the help of method we can set the values and we can get the values, right? What I will do in student class, because student is also a person, we are inheriting person class. Okay, student is also a person, so we don't need to write like again the property of person class, right? Because person class inherit by the student. So here I will write student properties. Okay. So I will write here dev keyword, then I will write init underscore. Here I will write self because this is a constructor, and here in the constructor I will call the super class constructor. How I will call? I will write here super parenthesis dot. I will write underscore init. Right, underscore this one. So this is how I can call the. This is how I can call the constructor of super class, right? And then what I will do, I will create the property of child class like self underscore course. Child class is nothing but student class, right? This is what private data, which is course. So here I will give course is none, and I will use setter and getter in order to set the value of the course and get the value of the course. So here I will write setter method. Okay, def set. Okay, set course, and this is the instance method. I will write self, and I will add the course value. So what I will do here, I will write self dot underscore course equals to C. Whatever value of C will assign to the course. Correct. Now I will write a getter method in order to print the code value, or we can say return the code value. Get course. Okay, why I am writing setter and getter? Please try to give answer. Why I am writing setter and getter? I am writing setter and getter because our property is what? Our property is what? Private. In private property, we cannot access outside the class, right? It is a private property. It's not your like common property for all. This is a private, personal, right? That's why we will use the method, which is set method and get course method. So here I will return what? I will return the course. So self dot underscore course. Why I am writing self here? Because this is what instance property, or we can say object level property. And this is instance method or not? No, it is not instance method. Why? Because I forgot to write self. The moment I will write here self means it will become instance method. Correct? Getting or not? All right. So now after that, what I will do, I'll create the object of which class? I will create the object of child class. What is the name of the child class? Student. So here I will write student1 equals to class name, which is student, right? And what I will do, I will set the name. I will call this property set name. Then I will call the set course, right? Then I will call get name and get course, right? So this is all about student one. So here I will set the name student one dot set name, and here I will give the name like NK. Okay, let me give my name MOHD. Now wait. Okay, and what I will do, I will write the code student one dot set course. Okay, here I will write full stack Python. Okay, full stack Python I will write. Okay. Okay, so what I will do now, I will call the methods now. Okay. Not first, which method I will call? I will call the method like get name. Okay, which method I will call? I will call the parent class method, which is what? Get name. Okay, get name method we will call first. Okay, by writing the method name get name. Okay, so get name method will return what? Name. So this name we will store in a variable like name. Okay, in a name variable we will store the name. Okay, after that I will call the method get course, which is inside the student method. Okay, so student one is the object. Student one is object one dot get course. Okay, get course, right? And here also I will give the parenthesis. Okay, here also I will give the parenthesis, and I will store this. Okay, get course also returning some value like course value it is returning. So I will store this value inside what? A variable called course. All right. After that, what will happen? I will print the values. I will print the values now. So I will write here print. Okay, and I will use f string in order to print the values as well as message in a single line. So name is, I would say, curly braces because I want to print the name value. Name, and second print for printing course f string, right? And here I will write course is course is, and here I will write course variable course variable, right? So if I run this code, here let me say programs. This one is like main 59, right? Okay. Now if I run this code, so what will happen? It is showing name is Mohammed Nabil and course is full stack Python, right? So this is the output. Okay. So this is a simple example of inheritance. Here we have a parent class and here we have child class, and child class driving the properties of parent class, correct? Okay, and then we created the object of which class? Child class. We created a child class object. Okay, and we are calling parent class method as well as child class method. So this is a simple program. Okay, all right. Now we will see what is multi-level inheritance. Okay, multi-level inheritance. So multi-level inheritance, more than one level of inheritance is called multi-level inheritance. More than one level of inheritance is known as multi-level inheritance. Or if a class is derived from another derived class is called multi-level inheritance. Here you will see labels like, okay, this is A class, this is B class, and this is C class. Okay, so this C class in like accessing the property of B class, and this is accessing the property of A class. So this is what multi-level inheritance. Here, how many level? One, two, three. Three labels are there, right? So here is a program based on multi-level inheritance. Okay, so what we have a person class. In person class, we have a constructor, and we have a private property which is name equals to none. Then we have a method set name, and we have a method we are setting the name. Okay, we have a one parameter in the set name, and here we have a method get name. We will return the name. Okay, why we are using set name and get name? Because our property is what? Property is private. If property is private, we can access that property within the class. Okay, that's why we are using, and we cannot access that private property from outside the class, but we can access public methods. This is what setter is a public method, getter is also a public method. but we can access public method from the outside the class using object. So that's why I'm using set name and get name in order to we can say kind of access name, right? And then we have another class which is employee inherit by person class. Okay, in employee class we have a constructor, and we are in the child class constructor or inherit class constructor, we are calling parent class constructor. Okay, when you call the parent class constructor, you will not give self here, right? You will write super dot in it underscore in it without self parameter, right? And we have a property here, job goes to none. Then the job is a private property, so we will use setter for setting the job value, and we will use a getter method in order to read the okay job value, or we can say print the job value. And then we have another label, another child class, which is salaried employee. Okay, this is another class which is salaried employed, and here we have a constructor, and here we are calling which constructor, next parent constructor. So this is a parent for what? This is the parent of employee. Okay, this is the employee class. So this will call the employee class constructor, and we have a private salary variable here, or salary property here. So again we will use setter method and getter method. Setter method set the salary, and getter method will return the salary, right? After that we will create the object. We will create the object of salaried employee. Okay, and we will call set name method using employee one object, and we will say set job. Okay, set salary, and then get name, get job, get salary. Okay, and we will print. Okay, so it will give the output like this, right? So this is a multi-level inheritance. This is an example of multi-level inheritance. I will give the link in the description. You can download this presentation and practice by yourself, so that you can get properly idea like how this code is working, how these labels are connected to each other. You can identify, right? Without practice, it is very hard to understand, right? So multiple inheritance. If a class is derived more than one base class, it is called multiple inheritance. Okay, if a class derived by multiple class, like one class we have this, and one class we have this, and one class we have this. If a class derived by more than one class, so this is known as which inheritance? Multiple inheritance. Okay, if a class is derived more than one base class, how many base classes are there? One and two. Two base classes are there. It's called multiple inheritance. So this is example of multiple inheritance. Here we have a class. In A class we have a constructor. In it constructor we have a x equals to 100. X is not a private variable here, private property here. Okay, then we have a B class. Okay, and we have y here, y equals to 200. So A class, okay, and B class. This is a kind of base class for what? For C class. And C class is a child class of A and child class of B. So C is a child class, first A, then B. So whenever I call the constructor, whenever we write the constructor, and if I call the constructor, so it will call A constructor, then we will call the B class constructor, right? Then we have self dot z equals to 300, right? So we have another property which is z equals to 300. Okay, we will create the object of which class? C class object we will create, means child class object we will create. And what we will do, we will we will access x, we will access y, we will access z, right? So if I print this value, so what would be the output would be like 100, 200 and 300, right? All right, so this is how we have seen like a single level inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and multiple inheritance. In the next video, we will discuss more about the inheritance, and we will write up more program on inheritance. All right. So thank you everyone for giving your valuable time. Okay. And everyone, please practice each and every code, because without practice, you cannot detect the logic of the code. Okay. So identify the problem, solve the problem, and write the code for the problem. Right. This is a particular way to learn programming. Okay. Right. All right. So thank you everyone for giving your valuable time, and always keep a smile. All right, and practice, practice, and practice. This is the key. Bye, everyone.